The first time I read that message, I thought it had to be a mistake. If there were a list, you'd always be first. He'd be second. You already know that, right? Her name was at the top. Her words, her voice trapped in text. The woman who had once sworn there was no world, without me had proved there was one. In that world, I stood behind another man. My chest tightened. I read the lines again, deliberately, like checking a prescription label to make sure I hadn't missed something. No, I hadn't. She'd written he'd come second. I wasn't first. For a moment, a room filled with a fog that didn't just blur my sight. It settled in my lungs and made it hard to breathe. That night, I sat at the edge of our bed, watching her sleep, curled and steady. I wanted to wake her and demand answers, but my throat had closed. So I traced her shoulder with my eyes, cataloging the small, familiar things that suddenly looked foreign. The red flags had been there all along, tiny as glass shards. Late nights explained away as overtime. The phone face down on the table. Laughter that used to be for me becoming measured and private. Love, I learned, makes you a blind investigator. You don't gather proof. You hide it under hope. The next day, I tried to sound casual over coffee. Rough night? She said, rubbing her temple, just tired from work. Her eyes slid past mine. Her smile was small and not for me. Anyone keeping you company at work? I asked. She laughed too fast. What are you implying? Nothing, I said. She sharpened at me. You're imagining things. But were they mine or carefully placed illusions? By evening, I could no longer ignore the noise in my head. I opened her laptop. It sat logging like a dare. The inbox was full. Some messages were plainly about work, others not. I miss how you challenge me. He doesn't understand me the way you do. Don't worry, you're still my safe place. He's second. The word carved itself into me. I didn't smash or shout. I went hollow, like something important had been scooped out. I waited 3 days before confronting her. I wanted her to admit it first. She never did. At dinner I asked, quietly, do you love him? The fork stopped midair. Her expression shifted from surprise to guarded. What do you mean? I leaned in. I've seen the emails. You rank me second. The room emptied. She set the fork down with exaggerated care, as if sudden motion might make the truth explode. It's not what you think, she breathed. He makes me feel seen. You've been distant. Her voice shook. I didn't mean for it to happen. My laugh came out then. So you pushed me into his arms, I said. Tears welled. I love you, but with him it's different. It's easier. Different echoed like a bell in my skull. So love could be ranked. I was a lesser choice. For a week, we became 2 people in the same house. She moved with quiet apologies in her eyes, but the phone still buzzed at odd hours. I pretended not to notice how her fingers lingered on the screen, how her smile softened at messages I hadn't been meant to read. Inside me, something shifted, not into fury. Not yet. Something colder, resignation. On Friday, I came home early. Her car was there. Music leaked from the living room. A man's laugh. I didn't barge in. I stood outside the door and listened. Her voice sounded lighter than it had in months. The sound I thought belonged only to me. In that instant, I understood I had already lost. Not because she picked him, but because she had turned our life into a contest I never agreed to play. That night, while she slept, I packed a small bag, clothes, documents, my grandfather's watch. I left a note, not angry, not begging, just final. You said I was second. I won't compete. Love shouldn't be a contest. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. Live with your choice. I'll live with mine. Leaving was quiet. No slammed doors, no scenes. Just a soft click of the front door and my footsteps fading down the hall. Outside, the world was dark and clear. She had ranked me second. I chose to remove myself from the contest. Not because I stopped loving her, but because at last I loved myself enough to walk away.